Hello everyone. It is scorching hot here in the UK at the moment. I think it's about like 30 degrees and we're having building works done outside, well, in our living room, and I had to shut the window so the noise wouldn't come through. I know you can still hear it, but if the windows were open it'd be even louder. So I'm incredibly stuffy. I've got a fan on in the background, but that is just circulating the hot air. So I'm going to try and do this video as quickly as possible. Just one thing before I start, I am very sorry I have not uploaded in a while. I know I was meant to upload on Monday and it's Wednesday. I'm very sorry, but I will be doing a live stream tonight at 9 PM, which is my new plan for the Wednesdays that I don't do reviews. I'll be doing another episode basically tonight. So let's just get on with today's episode. So it will be about solo progressive rock albums. So artists from bands who have done solo albums, basically. So yeah, I think let's start. I just want to once again apologise for the noise outside. I can't stop that. Ringo's just fallen. He just keeps falling. I've put so much blue tack on that picture that it's like smothered in blue tack and it still falls off the wall. So you know what? I'll fix it quickly. Everything's just peeling off the wall because it's so hot. I've got quite a few here that I'm going to be talking about today, and you'll notice that some of them are from the same group, and I think you'll probably be able to guess which one those will be. So I'm going to start with the Fripp and Eno collaboration album No Pussyfooting. I think this is technically a solo album, even though it's collaboration from two artists from two bands, so technically it is. I'm going to count it as one because I think it is personally. So Robert Fripp, Brian Eno. I've talked about this album so much, you already know. It's basically an all-instrumental album. Very atmospheric, very ambient, and very beautiful. The way that Robert Fripp uses guitar is very interesting, and obviously Brian Eno's keyboard work is fantastic as always, and the production, I think, is what sells it for me. The production on this is absolutely fantastic. I don't expect any less from Brian Eno. I believe that... I think both of them were involved in the production, but Brian Eno being a very accomplished producer as well as a musician. So this is a fantastic one to check out if you haven't yet. One that you can put on when you're just kind of relaxing for the evening. I've actually used this to help me go to sleep at night because it's really relaxing. So this is one to check out. This is No Pussyfooting by Robert Fripp and Brian Eno. There is a price sticker on the front of this one, so just ignore that. So this is the first Peter Gabriel solo album. I think it's just called Peter Gabriel. And this is just a classic, really. I mean, I'm more of a fan of the Peter Gabriel solo stuff than I am of the Phil Collins solo stuff, because Peter Gabriel kept up that like kind of weirdness in the music after he left Genesis, and Phil Collins was just more pop orientated. So I really like this album a lot. It's got a lot of great stuff on it, you know, Salisbury Hill, Excuse Me, Slow Burn. Just a lot of really great stuff on this album. One to check out if you like Genesis and you want to know what Peter Gabriel did after he left, then this is one to start with. I do like his other stuff that he's done. His stuff in the 80s I think is a lot better than Phil Collins' 80s stuff. So that's just my opinion, but Phil Collins made a buttload of money out of it, so where can you go wrong? But this is a fantastic album from a great musician. Next one is one that Johan actually introduced me to a while ago, and I did do a review of it. I'm not sure if I call it progressive rock, but I'm going to kind of put it in the progressive rock umbrella because the band he was in, you can kind of call it prog, I guess. But this is Roger Waters' Amused to Death. This is a double album. It's a very chunky album. This is a really great album. It's very woke, and it's very quite dark in its own way, but it is very well done and very well put together. So I really recommend this one to anyone who likes Pink Floyd. I think I'm just going to be saying that throughout, just talking about anyone. I'm just going to say if you like this, then you'll like this. So, but it is very different to Pink Floyd, and its kind of atmosphere, lyrical content, music and all that. It is just, the arrangements are fantastic, and I do really recommend this. It's got some really great musicians. Jeff Beck is on this album, plays guitar. So definitely check this one out. Double album, as I said, it is long, but it's got a lot of really kind of... It really makes you think. I think the first time I listened to this album all the way through, I just kind of sat there afterwards and thought, wow, what an album. I mean, there were some parts that I didn't really like as much. I've re-listened to this album since, and I just love it. So thank you, Johan, for showing me this album, and I think I might get a lot of people who don't like Roger Waters in my comment section now. But, yeah, separate the art from the artist, huh? This is one of Steve Hackett's solo albums. This is Voyage of the Acolyte. I actually got gifted this from one of my friend's fathers. I think he had like 2 copies of it, so he just gave me this one. And I listened to it when I got home from her house. It's so good. I'm actually in the middle of reading Steve Hackett's autobiography at the moment. And I just really love his guitar sound, and just everything about this album is just so amazing. It's so beautiful, so perfect in a way, and it's just amazing. I listen to this a lot when I'm not feeling too great, so I definitely recommend this one to everyone. So check this one out, 100%. So next are all artists who have come from the same band. You can all probably guess who it's gonna be. So we'll start with the first one. So Six Wives of Henry VIII. This is by Rick Wakeman. Probably my all-time favorite albums ever. It's just so well done, so well put together. The concept of it is great. It's basically history told through music. And when I was learning about the Tudor era at school, I was always interested in it. So hearing it kind of put to music, the Six Wives of Henry VIII, it was just so perfect, and it suited it so well. And even the back of the album just has information on each of the wives, and I read that while I was listening to the music, and it's just fantastic. So I'm a big fan of this album. I know a lot of people like Journey to the Center of the Earth and all that kind of stuff. I do love those albums, but this one is my favourite of the Rick Wakeman solo stuff. Next up, Fish Out of Water by Chris Squire. I think that Chris Squire is probably my favourite bassist of all time at this point, up there with Geddy Lee for me. This album is just so perfect. I think I cried after I heard this for the first time because it's just such a perfect album. And the songwriting, I've always been a fan of Chris Squire's vocal style, like the backing vocals that he adds into the Yes stuff and all that kind of stuff. I know he's done a couple of songs. I don't know if it's a couple or if I'm just making that up, but I know there's a song on Magnification which he sings the entirety of. But just hearing a whole album of him singing is really, really great. And this is one that I should have been listening to a long time ago because I'm such a big Yes fan, and it took me a while to get into the solo stuff, and this was the second solo album that I heard. The first one was the Rick Wakeman one, but as soon as I heard this, I think I played it loads and loads of times, just over and over again, because I just fell in love with it. And just the arrangements are just so perfect, and you know, it's just, I could go on about this album for a long time. I might actually do a review of it because I love it that much. But this is Chris Squire, Fish Out of Water. I think this was the mid-70s. So, and the very last album I'll be talking about today, this is Elias of Sunhillow. I believe that's the name of the album. Yeah. I can't read it through here, so it's kind of hard. But this is one of John Anderson's solo albums. I just love the cover. First off, cover art is just wonderful. The layout of the album, also wonderful. It's got pages in it and everything. But this album is just so good. I love John Anderson's voice. I think most people do when it comes to listening to just Yes in general. But this is just so beautiful, and it's just another one that I think I cried at. I haven't listened to this in a long time, so I'm struggling to find a lot of words for it, but it is very, very good, and I do recommend it to people who like Yes. It's very beautiful, as I said. There's like a folky aspect to it. It's like folk prog, or prog folk, whatever you want to refer it to as. But there were parts that kind of reminded me of Renaissance, if you know that group. But this is very, very good, and I love it a lot. And I'm really getting into that more folky prog sound. I'm listening to a lot of Renaissance at the moment. Stuff like that, you know. The more folkier side of Yes as well, all that kind of stuff. So that concludes today's video. Sorry if it seemed a little bit rushed, but I am suffering in this heat. Like, I'm sweating so much, and you can probably see it. As I said, make sure you stay tuned for tonight. I will be doing a live stream at 9 o'clock to 9:30. Within that time frame, I will be live. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'll be live for about an hour and a half max. And I will make sure I've got some good content coming for you guys this week. I just want to quickly say that because it's the summertime now, we're going into the summer, uploads might be a bit slower. I think I mentioned this on my Twitter earlier. Uploads will probably be a lot slower because this is my last chance to hang out with all my friends and my family before I go off to Brighton. So there will be a lack of uploads during that time, but I will hopefully keep you guys posted. I'm quite bad at that, actually. I'm not very good at reminding you guys, so I'll try that a bit more. But I'll try and push out as much content and do as many pre-recordings as I can so that there is a video for each day that there is one planned. I'm hoping to get Yoan back on the channel at some point as well, because it's been a while. We've been discussing a lot of ideas to do with the channel because I want to involve him in the channel as well. So yeah, there'll be a live stream tonight, Fridays, just another vinyl video, and I have a very special surprise for Friday because this is one that I've been planning for about a couple of weeks, and I wanted to make sure it was perfect, so that will be coming on Friday. Saturday, obviously, Saturdays with Dad, as you know, and yeah, see you guys on Friday for my very special video. I got a new shirt today. It's from the Gentle Giant website, so it's fun. See you guys soon. Bye.